YouTube. It's been a while since my last post, but you know what they say, life happens when you're making other plans. This episode we're looking at how we can get a bit more sound out of the motorbike exhaust to make it a bit safer when you're riding. So when you're on the freeway, if you've got a loud sports exhaust, quite often it's too loud. You get this noise in your helmet. It makes it hard to concentrate and actually makes things more dangerous. But when you're in residential areas or built up city areas, you might want the exhaust to be a bit louder so that cars and vehicles around you can hear you and they know that you're there. What do you think about it? It's about your safety. I care about you, man. I am you. Okay. Well, I was thinking about maybe like a variable exhaust, so you could press a button and have it open, and press a button and have it closed, but still keep the stock look so it doesn't draw attention when you go to rego the thing. Because if you've got big holes cut out of it, big things hanging off it, kind of draws attention. So when you open the exhaust on this thing, I don't want it to be a straight through pipe and just have the thing screaming. I just want a little bit louder, so not overpowering, just enough to let vehicles know that I'm there. And then when I'm on the freeway, we can push a button and then it quiets up and it becomes a nice, road bike again. So let me show you how we did it. Okay, so this is the back of the bike. This was the original exhaust. The original exhaust used to just look like that. And it had a little bit out here. I cut that little tip off, gave me a bit better sound. And now I've cut these 3 holes, which make it even louder. But I'd like to be able to make it quiet when it's on the freeway, and then louder when I'm around the residential areas, so that motorists can actually hear a motorbike. So we're going to create some of these valves, and this is where the other 2 are going to have to put one here and measure how far they're apart, and then link them all up with a linkage so one little lever can open 3 valves. Basically we're just making one of these. We're making one of these and a bit more out of this stuff so we can finish it up and make one of these. So that should block off the excess noise in my motorbike, and when I want to open it, just go like that. There you go. I'm going to clean these up in the water. Back in a sec. Right, that's these are our 2 rings here, 1 and 2. These are the 2 bits that are supposed to go inside them. Now, they do fit nice, but there's a bit of a lip on the back here. It's very sharp. I think I'm just going to get it with a file. Yeah, it goes through now. That's good enough for me. Look at that. drill. Got to figure out how far apart these two need to sit, like this. So I've got to make one cable and cut out some inserts. I'm going to go measure it and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've measured up. Hole's got to go through there where those two black marks are. And another hole's got to go through here. Gonna have to line up like that. Or pretty close. So I'm just going to cut those holes off camera because it's really hard to do it and hold cameras. Alright, so this is my milling machine, my homemade milling machine. I'll put the link in the video. Now we're just going to use this to make a 6mm pass through these two so it's all going to fit together. So I'm just lining everything up. I've just got these shims under here holding it together. They just, like the vice is clamped, but it's just had to hold it there. Here we go. There you go. We'll do the other sides now. Put my screwdriver there as a spacer. I put these two, what's it called, on top, just as spacers. Just to get the height right. Go. This is our metal rod that we're going to be machining out. Now the beauty of these vices is when they clamp, the jaws clamp in and down, so they bite into the workpiece and they really hold it down. Because I'm only clamping roughly half of this because I have to mill the other half out. Nice. Another one on there. Just click in it. There it is. Put it in. No, it's not pushed in right. Alright, here we go, test run. Close them. That sounds pretty good. You can definitely hear the change in pitch between open and closed. So I just got super lucky. So there's the exhaust, and when we take this fairing off, I notice there's this spare compartment here. Must be for some kind of upgrade in the future. And this box that I'm going to use for the solenoid controller, it fits perfectly. And there's 2 bolt holes behind there which I can attach. And the fairing fits over that perfectly. So we're going to have this solenoid here, which is capable of pulling 13 kilos. We're going to cut a hole in there and mount it, there-ish, like that. And then we'll have these 2 cables. I'm probably going to swap these out for braided lines because I'm worried about the heat because it's right underneath the exhaust. Put a bracket on here that holds these 2 pipes there. Have them come up and you'll have push and pull or pull and push for open close. And we can also mount the microcontroller in here. Then run some wires up there and put a button on our handlebars up there. Yeah, so I'll bring you back to where we're at. It's just so hard to film while you're getting all this made. It's really difficult to figure out what works on camera live, so I'll do a bit more, show you a bit more, do a bit more, show you a bit more. Yeah. Alright, so I got a little bit further. I got my box here and my solenoid mounted. Got my cables. This is just a 2 bits of aluminium sandwiching these 2 cables together. So I've made a few little bends in it on the vise just to make it sit a bit better. These 2 cables run over here. I've just put heat shrink around these because it was bare metal. Up to here where they separate, and then they go into this. Well, they separate here, then they go into this tube. It's like a shared tube kind of thing. And then that goes into the muffler and then out to the exhaust here. One there, one up here. And then this is just a bit of heat shrink that's going to go over the top and just shrink that with a bit of the muffler's heat will shrink it just to protect it from dirt and grime and everything else. The beauty of it is you can still cut it off if you need to get to it. So now all I've got to do now is hook up these 2 wires. So this is closed, this is open. Hook them up to this solenoid, put the power supply microcontroller in here, run the battery, the push button to the top and connect it to the on the key battery and see how we go. Okay, I'm back with another update. So after we put our cables in, created the circuitry for the box. Yeah, that's just an Arduino Pro Mini in there, and they just slide in and out like this. So I've got a voltage step down converter, stepping it down from 12 volts to 6 volts because that's what this guy runs off. And then the 6 volts just runs into the raw pin of the Arduino, so it can take that power and step down itself. And the thing just runs. So here's my button that's going to be just up on the handlebars. It's just a momentary push button. You push the button, solenoid moves. Push the button, solenoid moves. And the beauty of this is, if I were to leave the exhaust to the off position, open position, as in loud, and then I just disconnect the power from it. As soon as I reconnect the power, just now, it defaults back to the closed position. So the bike's always going to start quiet. So if you're going to start your bike up in the morning with your neighbours around, it'll always default to quiet. Then when you get on the road, you can push the button and open it up. So I'll close all this up, button it up, hook these cables up and give you a demo. Hey, so we're back. Here it is all buttoned up. I've had to do a lot of fiddling to get these right, but it all works good. I've just hooked it up. So we push a button here, that's open, that's closed. So I'll show you down here the valve on the back. So we press open, valve closed. Perfect. Start it up and show you. That's closed. Open. put all the fairings on and make it look pretty, and you should never know it was even there. Okay, so here it is all buttoned up, put back together. You'd never even know it. I've got to get another bolt like this because I lost it. So they all look the same. Look at that, you'd never even know. The only thing you can see these cables. I mean, if I'd made them both black, you wouldn't really see them, but I mean that can always change with a bit of paint or a bit black. You should use black heat shrink instead. So as for the button, I decided not to put a button up here because it's a bit obvious, especially when you go for rego. They'll say, hey, what's that extra button for? And then you've kind of exposed yourself. So the button's kind of just hidden under here. Let's see if I can get in there to see it. You can see that button just sitting there. Now it's just using a bit of tin and it's just bolted on, but that little hidden button is what changes the exhaust note. So really good because from here, it's your standard setup. You've got your all your controls here, but there's no stupid button sitting here that draws attention. You literally just reach under here and press it. And it's really good while you've got your gloves on as well. You don't really want to be searching for things, so you can just hold onto this and feel for it and press it. And you just push it, and that's it. So yeah, give you a demo. She's in gear, take it out of gear. Under here. Right, so I've just left that exhaust open and we're just going to simulate parking the bike, walking away, and now we're going to turn it back on and you'll immediately hear the solenoid close. I'll just bring the camera down here, turning it on. Turn it on. You hear it, it just closed immediately. So if I start it up now, whoops. It's quiet again. Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah, like I said, that way. Can't see anything in there, it's great. So that way, if you accidentally leave it open and you come home late at night or something like that, the next morning when you start her up, it's quiet. Perfect. Thanks for watching.